What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ethan's Exotic Escapades. Today we are going to be cleaning this tank right behind me and transitioning it into a saltwater tank. But before we get started with this video, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe, and let's go ahead and get started. First, I started by taking out all of the decorations along with all of the pump materials, heater, and anything else that was left inside of this freshwater tank. After I did that, I took out all of the water, and then I took out as much of the sand as I could by hand. Here's the crate full of all the sand that I scooped out, and then this is the sump that I used to take out all of the water and pump it outside. After I wasn't able to get out any more sand by hand, I decided to rinse the tank and get all the sand to go to the bottom so that I could vacuum it out with a vacuum. And then there's all of the stuff that I took out of the tank right down there. Next, I want to show you some of the stuff that I got for the tank. That right there was a box full of all the rock that I got for my tank. And then this is the pump that I'm going to be using. This is a Syncra SDC pump. And then below that are my bags of Carib Sea Aragalive sand. There are, I think, 2 bags in each of those that weigh 20 pounds. And then behind my pump is my overflow box. This is an Eclipse M overflow box, and they work very, very nicely. The other thing that I want to show you guys is this Reef Sump 100 right here. This is a sump that's already been put together, and the only thing that I have to do is plumb it. So it does come with a little tube right here that I can use in my plumbing, but I have to get some PVC pipe to plumb the rest. Next, I took the tank off of the stand that it was on because I have to drill holes into the back of it so that I can plumb the tank myself. So went ahead and took the tank outside, and I'm using these diamond hole saws to cut through the tank. And you have to be very careful when you do this. We're cutting some cardboard to put under so that it can catch the piece of glass whenever we drill all the way through. And it's very important to use water while you're doing this. So you want to spray water onto the diamond hole saw as you're drilling through. And you want to make sure that you don't do this super fast. Just take your time and you will slowly but surely get there. If you do it really fast, then you risk cracking your tank. So you need to do it as slow as you can. But finally cut through and got the first hole drilled into the tank, which is going to be used for our overflow box. And here is the overflow box installed into the back of the tank right here. This is what it looks like from the back, and then this is what it looks like inside of the tank. That is where the water will go into whenever it gets too high, and then it will drain down the back, which that part still has to be plumbed. Next, we drilled another hole that was a little bit smaller for our output. So the water will go through the overflow box, down to our sump, and then back up through our pump into the output. All right, here it is with the overflow box, and then this is the output right here. And then it also got plumbed today. See if y'all can see it a little bit. Got 2 piping and a tube going down for the overflow box, and then I've got this for the outtake, and it's all connected into our sump right here. We've got, this is from the overflow box, both of these right here, and then this right here is where our pump is going to be pushing the water back into our tank from this hole right here. And then I also got in some Vivor pumps. These are going to go inside of the tank, and they are going to be our little wave makers so that I can get some nice good flow in the tank. I've got 2 of these, and I also got, let's see, where is it? This right here. This is going to be going in the tank as the protein skimmer, so I'll also show y'all whenever I get that set up as well. All right, I've got the tank running, the pump down here is running, and I'm filling it up with just some regular water right now just to make sure that everything runs like it's supposed to. But so far, everything is doing good. I'll show y'all here in a second whenever the water gets to the overflow box. But after rinsing this tank out and making sure that it's clean and making sure that it runs really good, I'm going to install these wave makers. I have 2 wave makers, and then I have this right here, which is the protein skimmer. So I'll be installing that later, along with putting the rock and the sand into the tank. And then I'll have to mix a whole bunch of salt water to add to this tank so that I can finally have salt water in this tank. But it is looking pretty good and nothing's leaking at all. The plumbing is doing pretty good. So I'll see y'all here in a second whenever the overflow box starts working. I'm just waiting for the water level to reach the overflow box. And it's a good idea to try and fill it up by your sump, because if you don't, you might have some overflow issues on your sump. So it's a good idea to do it on your sump with the pump running once it gets high enough for the pump to run. So it's always a good idea to do that. But see y'all here in a second. All right, we have now reached the overflow box now. So this is starting to fill up and filter through the filter sock right here that we have. And you want to make sure that you keep doing this, and you might have to turn the water off and on until you get it to be at the water level that you need it to be at, and it is stable and still has the water at the right level. But you can see the overflow box right there doing what it's supposed to do, and it does have a fail safe on the other side. That's what that red tube is, in case the regular pipe doesn't work. So that's the regular pipe right there, and then the other one, which is that tube right there, is the one just in case the first pipe doesn't work. So it's a good idea to have that. But everything is looking pretty good. The overflow is working. Now I'm just gonna let it run overnight to make sure that everything seems to be doing good. And if it does, then we can get started on emptying the tank and then filling it up with some salt water and everything else that we need to do to make sure that this tank is ready. So I'll see y'all then. All right, it is now the next day and everything ran pretty good overnight. So I'm getting all the water out of the tank, and then I am going to go ahead and start washing the sand so that we can add it into the tank. So I'll see you when I am ready to wash the sand. All right, I've got the first bag of sand washed right here. You just want to rinse it until the water is mostly clear. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the first bucket into the tank. There's the first bucket in, and I've got the second one right here. I will see y'all whenever I have got all the sand into the tank. All right, I have mixed some water in this bucket with some salt, and I'm starting on adding the water to the tank and getting it filled up. I've got all the sand patted down, so it's probably gonna take a couple of days to do this, but I'm slowly getting there. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add the rock into the tank. So I will see y'all here in a second after I've got the rock all added into the tank. All right, finally got all the rock in. It took me a while to figure out where exactly I wanted everything to go, and can't really see everything super clearly right now, but once the tank is running, you'll be able to see the rock work a lot better. But for now, this is what it looks like. And I'm gonna continue to get this tank filled up. All right, I've got the tank all the way filled up now, and it is looking pretty good. And then I have installed these wave makers right here, one on each side. And if you're using the same kind of wave maker, these are the Vivor wave makers, then you are gonna have to adjust the modes on them depending on what kind of coral or whatever you're trying to keep inside of your tank. But I'm gonna continue to work on these pumps and get them at the right levels. And it is also a good idea to make the pumps do kind of a circular pattern, so you need to have one lower than the other one on each side, which is what I've done here. You just don't want to get the sand to be pushed all around, so make sure that you have it high enough to where it's not blowing sand everywhere. And then this one needs to be towards the top, so it's more like breaking the top of the water. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on these, and then I'm gonna install the last thing before I add the beneficial bacteria into here, which is gonna be the protein skimmer. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install this protein skimmer right here. I'm using a MagTool N100 Plus, and it is gonna go into my sump right here, into the middle compartment. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that installed. All right, I've got my protein skimmer inside of the sump now, and you have to do a little break-in period whenever you are installing one of these. So I have it on the lowest setting that it can be on, just so it's barely creating a little bit of foam down there. And I decided to have my wave makers that are in the tank right here set to this mode right here. Can't really see it, but it's a random wave mode. This way it's simulating how they would be living in the real life ocean, with random flow and random movement in the wild. So it'll simulate what it would really be like if they were in the wild. So I have both of those going, and this one is going at a good level. So everything is flowing and doing good. And now all I have to do is add one more thing to the tank, which is the beneficial bacteria. All right, I've got the beneficial bacteria right here. This is Turbo Start for Saltwater 900, and it's by Fritz. And I also forgot one more thing that I have to add inside of the tank, which is the heater. That's very important. So I'm gonna add the heater after I add this. But go ahead and add this into the tank. I'm adding this whole bottle, so. This right here is going to jump start this tank so that I can put fish in it as soon as possible. So should be able to put fish in it for sure after this week. So I've emptied this whole bottle, and you also need to give them a little bit of food whenever you introduce any kind of bacteria like this, so that they have something to eat while they are colonizing inside of this new tank. But now that I've got that in there, I'm going to go ahead and install this heater right here. This is a 400 watt aquarium heater right here by Aquatop, and I have it set at 79 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this, and I'll see y'all here whenever I'm done. All right, I've got the heater installed now right there in the back right corner, and have it of course set at 79 degrees. And then I have a thermometer right here just so that I can measure the temperature to make sure that it's right. And now the only thing left that I have to do is I'm gonna put a little bit of flake food in this tank so that the beneficial bacteria has something to eat. So I'm gonna go get that, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back now, and I'm just gonna do one big pinch of this tropical fish flakes for them to have something to eat, and I scatter that all around the top. Here is the finished tank. After a very long time, finally have it running. Got everything installed. The only thing left that needs to be installed is the lid, but I'm not worrying too much about the lid right now. And then I'll eventually have to have some different lights for whenever I start adding coral into this tank, but it won't be ready for coral for about 3 to 4 months, so I'm not gonna worry too much about that right now. But you can see the rock structure a lot better now, and it looks pretty cool. So this is where I'm gonna leave it off for now, and then I will see y'all in a little bit, probably a week. What's up, guys? It has been a long time since the last meeting, and I have some big news. These guys are all over the place right now because I've closed for the day, so they are, of course, going crazy, dancing, and they've messed up my hair. But anyway, I have a bunch of stuff that has been going on with the saltwater tank since the last time I saw y'all. It's been a pretty long time since the last time that I've done anything with the saltwater tank because of all of the crazy mishaps that, of course, happened the day before I was supposed to get all of the saltwater fish. So basically, the tank started leaking. I had to take everything out and have it all in different containers bubbling so that it would still be safe to put fish inside of it whenever I was ready to add it back to the tank. But had to completely reseal the tank, then add everything back into the tank. And then after doing all of that stuff, had to make sure that all the levels were right and make sure that it wouldn't leak this time. And after all of that happening, I finally have got this tank ready to go. And I already have a couple of fish and some coral in the tank. I'm about to show you it here in just a second. So let's go ahead and go check out what exactly is going on with this tank. All right, here I am over at the saltwater tank, and I've got all the rock in here. I have 4 different corals in here. There's one right there, and there's one right here, and then there's one here, and then there is one right there. And I have 4 fish already in here that I got from one of my friends that we've had on this channel before. So if you guys don't remember, his name is Cam, and he has been on the channel before. He helped me set up my smaller saltwater tank, but we've got this Da Vinci clownfish right here, and then I have another clownfish in here that's paired with him. It is a black Ocellaris clownfish, which of course is hiding from us. Guess he is camera shy. And then I have a couple of royal garamas in here. There's one right there, and then the other one is somewhere up in this rock area. I saw it earlier, but it is, of course, hiding from us. So he does not want to be caught on camera. But I'm going to see if I can get the black Ocellaris clownfish to get on camera, because he was, oh, there he is, right down there, hiding up under the little rock right there. But there he is. So there's all the fish and all the coral and all the rock in here. I've also got these new lights that came from Cam's tank that I've taken off of his and put onto here. And then here is one of my wave makers. I had 2 of them, but whenever the tank was leaking, it completely destroyed the other one. So have to get a new wave maker for this side that I will be adding shortly. But besides that, everything is running smooth. I made this lid right here so that it is protected from it evaporating super fast, and also protecting it from in case the fish decide they want to try and jump out of the tank. But everything else, I moved the heater into the sump, which is really where you should have your heater. And then I'm not running the protein skimmer because it doesn't need to run for a couple of months. Because I don't want it to take out any of the beneficial bacteria. And then I did accidentally fill this up a little bit too much, but that's okay, it'll evaporate. The pump is running smoothly. And then this is a new system right here that I've added that I would definitely recommend you add to your tank, especially if it's a big tank like mine. This is an auto top off. Basically, it will add back in reverse osmosis water whenever your tank is getting low on water. Like whenever it gets below a certain level, down here, there's this sensor right here that will measure whenever it gets below this level, and then it'll add in more water wherever you have your sensor at. So that's a really, really awesome system that I got. And besides that, that's really everything new that I have added to the tank. And you can see just how good it is doing. And I'm going to be adding a couple of more fish here in a couple of days. So I'm going to leave it off right here for right now, but I will see y'all here in a couple more days. whenever I've got some more fish that I'm going to be adding to this tank. So I'll see y'all here in just a little bit. All right, back at the store, got all of the new saltwater fish that are going to be going into our 110-gallon saltwater tank. So I'm about to show you what we've got. Let's go check them out. All right, here is a look at all of the stuff that we've got. A lot of this is cleanup crew. So we've got 20 Astrea snails right here. We've got 3 of these emerald crabs in this bag right here. And then we've got 20 of these snails right here, which are Nacerius snails. And then let's see what else we've got. Oh, we've got this right here. This is a fighting conch. Then we've got 4 fish. We got this right here. This is a swallowtail Jap female angelfish. And then we've got this right here, which is a pink and blue Watchman goby. And you'll be able to see these guys a lot better once I've got them out of their bags acclimating. And then I've also got 2 tangs right here. So I'm going to go ahead and show this one first. This is a yellow mimic tang right here. And then I've also got this right here, which is a blue hippo tang. But I'm going to go ahead and start getting these guys out and acclimating them so that they are ready to go into our 110 tank up at the front. So let's go ahead and start acclimating these guys. All right, I've got all 4 of the fish in here acclimating. You can see them down there a little bit. Can't see them too good right now, but I've got the blue tang, yellow tang, the angelfish, and then I also have that Watchman goby down there. But you'll be able to see them better once they get finished acclimating and added into the tank.
All right, guys, now we're about to introduce these invertebrates into our reef tank. So check it out. We have our entire cleanup crew here. You can see we'll make sure we have no mycoplasma, we have no coralline algae. We want to make sure our fish are as healthy as could be. Check it out, you guys. Currently, this is what is our collection, and we will show you when we advance to the next selection.
All right, we swapped out now. I'm going to go ahead and scoop these guys in. See if I can get all these guys in. I'm definitely not going to be able to do it in one scoop, but got the conch in this scoop. Oh, ways down the net. I'm sure they'll take a while before they actually really move anywhere, but we'll at least have these guys in the tank. This one, I got some of the crabs in this net right here. All right, got all of these guys inside the tank now. The conch is already scooting as far as he can away from us, but everybody's in there, moving, going to their new location. So now we're gonna go ahead and add in these guys next. All right, these guys have finally finished acclimating. You can see them in there. They've also colored up a lot. Can't really see them too good right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and take these guys out one by one. I'm gonna try and get, let's see, I wanna get the Watchman goby first. Let me get him in the net. And he's a pretty decent size Watchman goby, so let me see if I can get him real quick. All right, he does not want to come, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get the, oh, actually, I've got 2 in here. He's in there. Got the Watchman goby, the pink and blue Watchman goby, and I've also got the mimic yellow tang right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put both of these inside of their new tank right here. There they both go. Watchman gobies over there on the rocks. Now I'm gonna get our other 2 fish. I'm gonna get the swallowtail angel next. Oh wow, I'm freaking out. There that one goes, and that's a female Japanese swallowtail angelfish. It already went straight into the back hiding. But next is everybody's favorite, a blue hippo tang, which Dory from Nemo. That's why everybody likes these. And I love these too, so we're gonna go ahead and add this one. It has a very beautiful color. And it is looking really good. So let's go ahead and add this one to the tank. And there it goes. And these guys are gonna be real stressed out and not be super vibrant right now because of how stressed they are. But over the course of a couple days, they're gonna brighten up and look a lot better. So I'll see y'all here in a couple of days and we'll check on all these guys and see how they're doing. All right, it's now the next day. We're gonna check on everybody, see how they're doing. There is our blue hippo tang right there hanging out. She is looking very beautiful. And then still got those clownfish right there. And I went ahead and me and Raja, he helped me last night put all of the coral up, and we glued some coral to the rocks, so it looks really nice right now. There is our Watchman goby right there. And then here is our angelfish right there, the swallowtail. And then our mimic yellow tang right here, also looking really good. So everybody is doing really well in this tank. I'm glad to see that everybody is nice and healthy and we had no casualties, so that is really awesome. And now in a little bit I'm gonna go ahead and feed these guys and see how they do. We're gonna see if they'll eat for us, but the tank is looking pretty awesome. So I'll see y'all in a second whenever I'm gonna be feeding these guys. All right, I've got both of the different feeding stuff that we're gonna be feeding over here. The clownfish love this, so I'm gonna go ahead and feed them first. Oh, down there got our angelfish that ate one of those pellets. Oh, and the tang's sifting through that, trying to get it some too. Now I'm gonna feed the tangs this seaweed extreme. Let's see if it, oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, it is going crazy over those pellets. Okay, it loves those pellets, and so does the yellow tang. The mimic yellow tang loves those. That's really good because sometimes it's hard to get tangs to eat pellets, but that's really good. It is eating those up like crazy. Look at all of them going crazy. And there's the angelfish in there. It got it some couple of pellets earlier. And the goby's over there hiding right there back behind the rocks. It got some pellets early. Put it against the glass. There he is. He got some pellets at the beginning, but now he's hiding. That's really good. I'm glad that we already got these guys to eat because it is hard sometimes to get tangs to eat. So we've got them to eat these pellets. That's really good. All right, that does it for this tank setup right here. Finally added the hermit crabs into here. They didn't have them in stock whenever I was originally ordering my cleanup crew, but got them in there. They're doing good, and all the fish are doing good, which is definitely a plus, and everybody's eating. This is how you convert a freshwater tank to a saltwater tank. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe and join the tribe, and I'll see you on the next one.